In the previous video, we discussed how to write a letter and the various parts of an official letter. Let's recall once again. An official letter is a letter that transacts business or any correspondence between the organizations or within the organization or among the organizations. They fall into many categories like a letter of complaint, a letter of invitation, a letter of gratitude, a letter of a request, a letter of information, a letter of action to be done. So they fall under various categories. And the most important thing you need to remember is always while writing a letter, you should use simple language and express the ideas very clearly. And the letter should be free from the grammatical errors and always have a spell check before sending the letter. I advise you to make a draft first and have a grammatical correction. If there is a grammatical error, correct it, spell check, correct it, then make a final draft and read the final draft once again before sending the letter. And we discussed the various parts of a letter. Our letter should be well organized and we follow a proper format for the letter. And we in the last video we recognized each part with their names, what each part of the letter is called, like the recipient's address, the sender's address, the date, the salutation, the subject line, then the body of the letter, the complimentary clause. So these are the parts of a letter. And the one thing we also wanted to write is the enclosure whenever required, not all the time. So, and sometimes in the letters we put the word like copy to, if we are sending the same copy to somebody. So these are the various parts of a letter. And before writing a letter, you should jot down the points what to write in the letter. That's also very important because we may not able to organize the points while writing the letter. So better we jot down because we are the primary learners. And let us practice how we should write a letter in this video. Here I have given a letter for you. Write a letter to the editor of the Hindu about the noise pollution caused due to the loudspeakers in your locality. This is the question. Go through it thoroughly. Read twice or thrice. And look at the hints given. Here, for our convenience, I have provided you with the hints. It is not compulsory that you are provided with the hints. And for the students in the examinations, sometimes you are provided with the hints and sometimes may not. So when you are provided with the hints, try to build the body of the letter from the hints given and read the hints twice. Now I will read the hints. Loudspeakers, common in celebrations, noise pollution, greatest problem, children and old people, needs to be regulated. These are the hints provided to you. This is how the question appeared to you. So first, what you need to do. So that for that question, look at this. Read these two questions and try to jot down the points for the questions. So, why I am writing this letter is the question. Why are you writing this letter? To bring about the problems faced in the by the noise pollution in your locality. This is why you are writing the letter. And what information do you need to provide? So, when you are discussing the problem of the noise pollution of your locality, you need to mention the locality and when is the situation arised and who are the people responsible for the noise pollution and what are the effects of noise pollution and what steps can help to stop or reduce the noise pollution. So you can build your letter around these points. And the another important thing you need to remember is you are writing a letter to be published in the newspaper. So that's why it is like giving information to the editor, right? And here another thing you need to remember in the question that the senders, not senders, the recipient's address is already provided to you. Whom you are to whom are you writing this letter is the question. and think an answer for it. It is to the editor, the Hindu newspaper. It is given. So this letter is directed to the editor. That one thing you need to remember. So once you have jot down the points, that's once you try to understand what is the letter for, then you can start the writing of the letter. So now from this uh, slide we are starting to write a letter bit by bit, not as a whole, because if you write as a whole it is not convenient for you and for me also. So bit by bit we are learning how to write letters. The first is when you write a letter, uh, we need to know the from and to address. Okay, first you need to write your from address. Try to write your from address with mail ID and phone number. Please write in your notebooks. Okay, after writing your from address, we are writing the to address. Here, as the address is already there, I have written it for you. Okay, to the editor, the Hindu newspaper, because it is given like the Hindu in the question itself. If it is not given in the question, you can write your own, you can write the name of any newspaper. And next is Hyderabad. Okay, you have come across the addresses, that is from address and to address. The another most important thing is you need to write the date. Okay, try to write the date. So uh, the place of writing the date, it varies. Some people write the date at the top. First they will write the date, then from, and then to. This is how some people write. But whereas in some letters you find the date between from and to. After writing from, the total address, from address, then there will be a date, then to address will appear. So this is how the place of the date varies. Both of them are correct. Now write the subject line for the letter, and then write the salutation for that letter. So take 2 minutes, write the subject line and the salutation for that letter. Okay, I hope you have written the subject line. Already we discussed that subject line reveals the broad purpose of writing the letter. That means why you are writing this letter. Once a person looks at the subject line, he understands your intent of writing the letter. And this should be short, I told you, as short as possible. And the salutation. Now, let us look what is the subject line for that letter. Here, uh, we want the editor to publish it in the newspaper because he is not the competent authority to take action. So just it is to publish in the newspaper. So that's why we wrote to publish about the noise pollution caused by the localities in some colony. Okay, because we are saying something about the colony, you need to write the name of the colony of so and so town. Then here your salutation, your subject line may differ, but it should mean the broad sense of the letter. Don't here I have given the subject line as example. This is a sample one. This is, I won't say that this is the only correct one. This is the sample one. So yours may vary, but it is something should be about noise pollution. And the salutation I would like to use is sir, because for any official letter we can use sir. Now after salutation and subject line, write the first paragraph for the letter. I hope you have developed a paragraph. Let's look at the paragraph which I have developed. I would like to begin my paragraph like this. The insensitive use of loudspeakers has become quite a nuisance in our cities. The most annoying thing is that loudspeakers have now become an integral part of almost all celebrations. People seem to believe that even private occasions like marriages and birthday parties would be incomplete without the blaring of loudspeakers. So I have started like this. The insensitive use of, that means the loudspeakers are used without any proper reasoning. No, people don't have. They are not sensitive to the use of loudspeakers. How to use them? So it is nuisance in our cities. And the most annoying thing, or the thing that makes me angry, is that they have now become an integral part of almost all celebrations. Every celebration has a loudspeaker these days. Okay, in the olden days, only for some celebrations there used to be a loudspeaker, and it was a rare phenomena, and so that's why people used to enjoy whenever there was a loudspeaker. But now it has become more than common, I would like to say. So that's why when something is more, our mind gets automatically wants to get rid of it. No, so here I am writing that it is an integral part of almost all celebrations. People seem to believe that even private occasions like marriages and birthday parties would be incomplete without blaring of the newspaper loudspeakers. So, what people believe, I have written here, that the private occasions like marriages, birthday parties, or any other personal occasions, there also we people are using loudspeakers, and it is very sad to say that when somebody dies also, there will be a big loudspeaker along with the dead body when they are carried to the funeral thing. Uh, so that's is a practice actually. So for every practice ceremony needs a loudspeaker these days. And now this is how I developed the first paragraph. Now write the second paragraph for the writer. Now let us look at how I have designed the second paragraph. So here I am discussing the problems. Noise pollution is already one of the greatest problems that people living in cities have to deal with. The excessive use of loudspeakers makes it even worse. Of course, there are occasions when their use is absolutely necessary, but I see no justification using them during every party or meeting. So here we, as in the hints given, we are saying that it's a greatest problem already the city is facing, because in the cities, the buses and the cars, the pollution, noise pollution of all the vehicles is very high. So already they have that pollution, and added to that, this loudspeakers is another problem. The excessive use of loudspeakers makes it even worse. Already we are facing the noise pollution, and the excessive use is adding uh, more pollution. But in the next line, we are saying, of course, there are occasions when their use is absolutely necessary. When the situation demands, when it is necessary, it is necessary, uh, there is no problem in using it. But to use in every party or meeting is not justified. It's not proper. This we mean to say. Okay. So in this way we have uh, devised our second paragraph. Just you may have devised it something different, but if it serves your purpose, it's okay. This is a sample letter. Okay, this is just a sample. You can devise your own ideas according to the purpose. Now let us look at the concluding paragraph. We don't want our letter to be very lengthy, pages and pages. Okay, so that's why we are, what we wanted to write, we have placed it. Now we want to write the concluding paragraph. Now write the concluding paragraph. Take a 5 minutes time. I hope you have written the concluding paragraph. So this is the worst hit by this improper use of loudspeakers are the elderly and the children. And due to the excessive noise, the elderly can't sleep properly and the children can't concentrate on their studies. So, in the hints, we discussed, we wanted to write something about children and adults. So, that's why I have brought it in here. The worst hit people by this improper use is elderly and children. Okay. And why we are saying they are worst hit? Because the elderly people can't sleep, and the elderly people are prone to ill health or ailments. So uh, it's very improper for them. Uh, it's improper for these people when they won't sleep due to the disturbance. And the children can't concentrate on their studies. And with children, they may be deviated from their study. They can't concentrate on their studies. Uh, and for most of the children, the loudspeakers are appealing. You know, they like the loud noise and the dancing that goes on with the loudspeakers. So they may get distracted from their studies. So that's why I have used this point. It is high time the authorities did something to regulate the use of loudspeakers. So, we are writing that the authorities should do something for for the regulation or for the proper use of these newspapers. With this, I have ended my uh, three paragraphs of the body of the letter. And in the end line, look at the last line. It is high time the authorities did something to regulate the use of loudspeakers. We can't direct the editors to regulate. So, just simply we are saying, and uh, that's why we are saying it this way. And uh, the here in the last concluding paragraph, uh, we want what actually the whole essence and what we want in the letter is said in the last line. Actually, this is what we wanted to tell. There is a disturbance with the loudspeakers, and we need to regulate the use of loudspeakers. Write the subscription for the letter that you have already written. We have developed the body, the from address, the to address, the salutation, the date, subject line, everything we have developed. The last thing we need to write is the subscription for the letter. Try to write the subscription for the letter. Now, I prefer the subscription yours sincerely here because the editor is a stranger for me. So, I prefer yours sincerely. Now, after yours sincerely, please try to sign the letter and below that write the name. With this, we have created or we have evolved at the various parts of a letter. Now uh, let us organize these various parts into the format. Now here's a question. Consolidate all the paragraphs and write the letter in the format. I hope you have consolidated. It's a very easy task. What, where to write? See, this is how I consolidated the same letter. Look at the letter. In the top, that is your name. You need to write your name, then your address, then phone and email. That's I have left for you. Then the date when you are write, the date when you are writing that letter. Then the editor, the name of the newspaper, that is here I have given the Hindu, so you write Hindu. The city of publication, it is generally wherever the city of publication, you need to write that. Then I used the salutation dear sir here, and then I used the salutation dear sir. Then the paragraph, the first paragraph which I told, I have adjusted here, and then in the second paragraph, then the third paragraph, and then sincerely, and then the name. Okay, this is one format I have followed. In my first video I have followed, the format of the letter was different. This is another format. We are writing everything from the left, and one thing you need to remember is that there is no punctuation in the address, date, addresses, both the addresses, that is sender's address and recipient's address, and date, and punctuation is absolutely necessary in the body of the letter. That's one thing you need to remember. So this is the model of the letter. Observe it properly and try to write your letter in this model. Arrange all the consolidations that we have developed, all that we have developed in this model. Try to do it, please. And I hope you understood how to write a letter. With this, I would like to thank you, and thanks once again for your patient listening. Hope you understood this letter writing better.